My name is Alexis and welcome to my kitchen. Today we are learning all about bread. Our first series that we're doing is all on homemade bread rolls, and I did a poll on Instagram and I think 56% of you do not have a mixer, so I'm going to be showing you by hand, and then my second video on bagels, you'll then see it with the machine and you'll be able to do either or for whatever works best for you. So we're about to get started on homemade bread rolls. This is a southern recipe that I've made myself. I've done many things with it. It is very transversable. You can change it any which way you want. You can do it with different types of sugars, different types of oils, butters, and then you can also play with the water amounts. Today is a no-fail recipe. I have it posted on my blog as well. We'll be using that recipe, and you'll be seeing me come through the motions of how to make it, how much knead time, and a little bit easier to watch being made to be able to do it yourself. Right now, the first rule of thumb for bread making is having your water temperature or your milk temperature right. I strictly use water, and I don't do any type of fancy tools for getting temperature. I do the finger test, and it has worked beautifully so far. All you're doing is, as long as you can hold it under your water for about 5 to 6 seconds, your water temperature is warm enough, and it's good. If you have to keep moving your finger off because it's hurting you, then it's too hot, which means you'll burn out your yeast rice. So as long as you can hold it in, then you'll do it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's a little too hot, so I just adjust it as I go. The way I do it is I pull as much as I possibly can, water-wise, as hot as it is, and then I slowly add in a little bit of cool water until it's there. So I'm gonna add in, as I'm letting my yeast rise, I have my oven preheating. If you do not have a proofing button on your oven, just preheat your oven to 175 for about 10 minutes to get that oven real nice warm, and you'll have your light on. You can turn off your preheat and just keep that oven hot, keep it closed, and that's where you'll be rising your dough. That was 1 cup, I'm doing 2 cups.
So at this point, I'm adding in yeast, some honey as my sugar, and then you'll see me add in my butter that was room temperature, and I'm going to add in a little sprinkle of salt and some flour. Here's what it looks like before I let it rest about 7 minutes. You'll see the yeast start activating, those bubbles coming up to the surface. And here's what it looks like after. Okay, so here I am. I'm going to start folding in some flour. I'm going to do 2 cups very gently, scooping them out of my flour bucket into the mixture, and then you'll see me stir around the middle of the bowl and then slowly start scraping away the sides, bringing my mixture together. It's going to get a little messy, it's going to make your arm a little tired, but keep on slowly adding in the flour once you have those 2 cups. I normally go to about a half a cup and then a 1/4 cup slowly. So after you do your 2.5 cups, you're going to fold in a broken egg. I normally stir it around a little bit in the cup, then pour it in, stir it good. Your mixture will get a little wet, as you can see here, and then you'll slowly start adding in the rest of that flour that you need. You're just going to stir until it starts forming this sticky ball, and then you'll flour your surface and start working it by hand. Just remember to keep extra flour handy so you can get your fingers coated real good so it doesn't stick a ton. So whenever you're ready to fold it out onto your surface, you'll be able to do that easily. When I pour it out onto the surface on the counter, I always make sure I'm coating with quite a bit of flour. Since I do this, and I have done many bread rolls, I can just pull from a container. But if you're worried, you can always pull the amount that you're supposed to use, plus about 2 cups extra just to use for flouring your surface and your fingers, because you want it to be sticky, but you don't want it to be to the point where you can't get it off. You're going to keep rolling it, pulling from the corners of the ball towards your hands and rolling over. And then you will slowly start seeing me pull the dough around the countertop, picking up all that extra flour that's there and continuing to work it. The more you work your dough, the more sticky it will get. So if you so happen to add too much flour, work that dough real good and it'll get more sticky and more moist. Depending on what kind of oil you're using or butter, you're going to take that butter or oil and put about a tablespoon around the bowl, and then you'll plop your dough right in it.
Is full. We're going to break it. You can either push it down or you can flip it over. I'm going to grab my pan for my rolls and we'll get started.
I use a big black iron skillet. You can use any type of pan that's oven safe, obviously. Layer or slather that butter down or oil in it and just start rolling your balls. You want the top smooth, so I tuck the corners under just to create a better, softer roll up top. And you'll start making them and putting them in. If they touch, it's okay. If not, it doesn't matter. They'll just expand more wide than up. The way my recipe is made is you have a little more sticky dough because we want those soft, plushy, pillowy rolls. So you will see how I take my fingers and I'm really dipping or flouring a little bit of the flour on top so they don't stick as much, because then you'll have some lopsided rolls. But trust the process on this. Just dip a little bit, add a little flour, because you want those rolls to be super, super pillowy soft. Remember that oven light needs to be on for the second rise as well. Here they are, doubled in size. We're preheating our oven and getting it nice and toasty to bake those rolls.